Hey team, I wanted to touch base with everybody about para support, and there was some questions about the work they're doing with students. I called Dr. Mancini just to follow up with her to make sure that we're all on the same page. So I'm going to give you kind of a 3-4 minute synopsis of that conversation, just so we can get all going, get the right information. First of all, do not stop paras from working with kids. Keep letting them work with kids. We want them working with students. We want them supporting the instruction you're doing in the classroom. So don't be fearful of that. Keep doing what we're doing. I think 99.9% of what we're doing with paras is great. So let's keep that up. But here's some things to keep in mind that I think are somewhat of a review for us, right? So paras can be doing review activities, practice activities, and also kind of fluency-based activities for students, okay? What they can't be doing in general are, following, the curriculum or boxed interventions, unless they were trained, okay? And any kind of new content, right? So that's the basics. I know there's probably a little bit more to that. We could probably dig deeper there, but in essence, that's what you're looking at, all right? So basically this work over here is the support, of you. Support of what you've already done, support of the instruction that you've already given, okay? They're not reintroducing, or they're not introducing any kind of new content. So let's make sure that this is kind of the guidelines, which I think we are, but just remembering that. And I would say as much as work that they can do with that, the better, okay? So that's step one. Now the word intervention, is kind of semantical, so I just want to draw that out for you, right? You have the 90-minute block, okay? And, teacher does whole group instruction, and then there's a teacher small group, a para small group, independent student activity here, maybe an extra group here in some respects, okay? During this 90-minute block, these activities, okay, whatever it might look like, no matter how different it might be, inside of the classroom, okay, are all going to be tier 1. This is all things that you should document, make sure are noted on RTI paperwork, but it's all tier 1 because it's happening during this 90-minute block. What we want to stay away from, as far as paras are concerned, is, classroom 1, classroom 2, classroom 3, and classroom 4 divvy out students and they all come and work with the para. We want to stay away from that, okay? And the overarching reason behind that is because even though you might schedule it, say, for 10:20, this is all going to happen within those 4 classrooms that are going to get together and work on a specific skill, which is great, a great idea. But if it's happening during the 90-minute block, theoretically there might come a day where, let's say a teacher is doing instruction and they get to a point where 10:20 is here, but she's not maybe ready to give out those kids, right? She's not ready to release those students. She wants to keep working within her classroom with that group, and she should be able to have that freedom. Versus we all know that if we schedule it at 10:20 and the para shows up to pick up the kids, more than likely we're going to let them go. Now granted, that may or may not happen super often, but again, we want to be really truthful, to this 90-minute block and protect that so that we can do the instruction we need to in the classroom, okay? But during that time, this is all tier 1. Now, during WIN, right, and flex, and other times during the day, that's when we start getting into the tier 2 perspective as far as intervention, okay? And we really really want to try to push, considering a tier 2 intervention for, the certified teacher to be able to do that instruction. It's not that paras can't work with groups during that time, and we can talk more about that later as far as is that a tier 2 or not. But again, the push is so that the certified teacher is doing those activities for the kids who are really needing the most support. Okay, and I know that's not something new that you haven't heard before. So again, that's kind of a summary, real fast summary, but in general, please don't stop letting them work with students. Let's continue to use them as a resource for groups and kids. And if there's any other questions, just let us know. Thanks.